Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima JayLow Kayak Carrier here on our 2015 Subaru Forester. Now when you're talking about kayak carriers, a lot of things to consider. Obviously, we want something that's going to be nice and easy to go ahead and throw up on our roof bars, but also we are looking for a lot of good contact and making sure that our kayak isn't going to be sustaining any damage as we're up there. And I think the JayLow is definitely going to be one of your more premium kayak carriers for a lot of reasons. It has all those bells and whistles you're looking for on a kayak carrier, and I think how the mounting system works definitely starts setting it way ahead of some of the other carriers in my mind. You also are going to get a pretty nice tie-down kit with it. As you can see, this does do a good job of holding our kayaks in here. It does come with a bow and stern anchor strap as well, so I definitely recommend putting those on there. It's really going to help you, especially if you're doing that high weight driving. That way we're not going to be feeling that lift on our kayak, and that way it's going to stay way more secure onto our carrier. Well, let's go ahead and start taking a closer look at some of the specs. So if we take a look here, we can actually see how we're mounted on. I wanted to point out these straps that come included with it. Now I do kind of like these guys. I'd put them in a pretty good middle ground here. Things that are great about it, you are getting a nice rubber protective sleeve over your entirety of your cam buckle here. So it makes it really nice that we're not going to have any kind of metal dinging on our kayak or anywhere else, especially if we're moving these straps and it happens to fall off the back of the kayak, lands on our roof, it won't be denting and scratching it. That rubber is going to do a good job preventing any kind of damage. However, the straps themselves are made of a nice kind of thick material, but that starts getting to be kind of a negative for yourself when you are trying to wrap these guys up. As you can see, not going to be getting a very nice tight knot with most of these, and you are still trying to find a place to actually deal with them. One thing we always kind of recommend, checking out the etrailer kind of tie-down kit that we actually sell for kayak carriers. I definitely think that they start getting just a little bit more advantages. Really easy to tie them down and make those straps put out of the way. However, this is purely just kind of an aesthetic and just really just a hassle reducement, so it's definitely not needed. And these straps are going to do a good job as they come included. Again, I don't really think you can beat that rubber coating on the cam buckle itself. Talking about the carrier though, we will break this down a little bit later, but I wanted to give you guys just kind of right out of the gate a look at what our carrier is doing here. You'll probably notice that we have our square bars here for our roof-mounted racks. However, as you can see, it is conforming to that quite well, but it is starting to have a slight shift to the left as most of that contact is on the right side of the carrier. Now, it is doing a good job and it is solid. Yakima makes a solid product here. However, I might recommend picking up a different roof rack system. The aero bars work extremely well with these, whether they be the Yakima Jetstream or a couple other ones. I definitely recommend giving those guys a look and a slight advantage of those Yakima products as well. Well, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of our straps on the ends. So as I mentioned, this does come with bow and stern straps. To take a look at them, as you guys can see, that is doing a good job of staying nice and tight in our frame there. It's gonna have nice contact going back. These S-hooks can be a little unwieldy sometimes. You are gonna need a nice point of contact for themselves. And you start getting a little bit of issue here where you don't actually have a good one. Luckily for us on our Forester today, on our frame, we just have a couple little good mounts for it to go into. You will notice this plastic strap here too. This does a good job protecting our paint from anything, but also it keeps our fabric from ripping as our hoods come down onto it. So that way if we do have any contact, we aren't fraying this strap as we go down the road. Well, I've gone ahead and removed those bow and stern straps. So now we're gonna actually go ahead and take off our straps that are holding our kayak to our carrier. I just wanna go ahead, kind of undo these to make it easier to dismount. And then I just simply have to push on that cam buckle on the inside with that thumb. It's gonna go ahead and allow us to remove our strap through the back. Now I do want to point out exactly how we have this strap running. You'll notice that we do have two straps running across to our kayak, and what we want to do with that way we don't have any straps going on the underside, so that all of our pressure as we tighten this down is pushing that kayak into our carrier, making sure we're not having any force coming away from our carrier. So we have the two straps running around underneath our roof bar system. I definitely recommend doing that. Gives us a really good point of contact on the underside here. That way we're putting less strain on our carrier, and then we can go ahead and zip it up as you guys can see. So to take it off, just want to go ahead and remove that strap and take it down this way. Now it might be a little easier to actually take this other guy off. As you can see, it is a little pinched right now. So we'll go ahead and loosen the other side and remove these both. Now that we have those straps removed, I want to go ahead and show how we can dismount this kayak. And we definitely want to utilize our carrier. What I mean by that is you can see we have these posts that we can actually help get us up on here with our kayak, but also it can help us take it down. What I want to do is I want to push the bottom end of this kayak, rotating the top towards me and balancing it with my other hand. So I'm going to go ahead and push that guy forward. You're going to see how it's going to rotate towards me. Now I want to make sure I'm nice and set here, got a good platform, and I can still use these load assists to kind of take that weight off and walk it away. Well, I've gone ahead and hopped up on here now that we have our kayak off. And again, I think it's really apparent, as you can see, that these square bars are having this just a little cattywampus. Now it is on here very secure, and especially if you have a kayak up on here, it's definitely not going anywhere. It's going to do a good job of holding it. However, I definitely recommend checking out maybe the aero bars. I just think they do a better job, especially with how this mounting system works. Taking a look at the carrier though, we already mentioned we have that nice little load assist there. I definitely like the padding though on the JayLow as well. You can see you're getting a full coverage here with this nice rubber pad on the bottom. So that's giving us good contact on our carrier, or I'm sorry, on our kayak, making sure we're not having any kind of damage to our kayak as it goes on the road. You are getting a nice little foam blocker here as well on the inside. Very, very smooth. So what's going to be great about it, not going to be building up any kind of weather elements. Water's going to just gently go around it, not going to be getting wet and getting waterlogged as it stays on there. At the top, this is just simply where our strap goes. It does a good job of holding on up there. Now, if you are looking for a way of like a lot more use and kind of usability, I might recommend checking out the Malone downloader. If you really want a plastic clip at the top, all that really does though is make it a little easier to get those straps kind of sent through and hanging up there on their own. Otherwise, they usually kind of fall to the side. Definitely not a big deal, but just another thing to keep in mind if you're looking for usability. Now on the bottom here, as we've mentioned before, is actually how our mounting system works. So you can take a look here, you can see that these guys open up as I take this loose. This entire structure is going to swing out to the left. For today, I'm not going to be taking it off all the way, but as you can see, this actually slides on this whole track, and that's what's kind of giving us our cattywampusness here. As you can see, that our kind of knob pulls this in all the way to the right side. So that's really where you're starting to see this kind of swing a little to the left. And that's why those aero bars help. They are just a little bit wider, so they're going to be doing a better job of actually filling in that space, not having us to pull in all the way to the right, giving us a nice stable platform. Now, a great feature of this guy as well is that it is folding. So if I hop up, I want to go ahead and give us a measurement to see how much height we're actually adding here. So from the top of our roof bar here to the top of our carrier, if it'll cooperate with me, is putting us right at 18 inches, as you can see, about 18 1/8 there to the top. From the roof of our car though, our Forester I should say, is putting us right under 22, so about 21 3/4 there to the top of that in that position. However, maybe we want to pull this in the garage, or maybe we got to hit the drive-through on the way through. We definitely have a way of shortening that down. We have this little red lever on the side. All we have to do, kick that guy out to the side. It's going to allow us to actually maneuver this down in its folded position. As you can see, that's going to save us a ton of space already to this back position, putting us right at 4 inches there from our roof bar, and from the top of here to the end, putting us right at 8 1/8 inches from the top of our roof. So definitely gonna be nice and low profile in this position. Again, now we can get in the garage with no trouble at all. And a big thing I'd like to point out with the JayLow as well, it is a single kayak carrier. However, it can be adapted to carry 2. All we have to do, simply bring this in the stand-up position. Instead of leaning back, we're gonna go straight forward. And on the other end, we could actually get another kayak if we needed to. Now keep in mind, you probably will need to get another strap kit to actually make that work. However, nice that we have just a little bit of versatility to this carrier if we want to start getting some more people. And a great thing to mention as well, as you can see, this doesn't take too much room on our roof rack here. We could even maybe fit a cargo basket on the other side if we didn't have that second kayak, and definitely a host of different accessories there. Well, as you guys saw, the JayLow is giving you a lot of great features to make sure we get our kayak to where we're gonna go in a safe and effective manner. The best thing for it, in my opinion though, that really starts setting it ahead of a lot of the carriers, is we actually do have a security feature here. Now on the inside here, right where this plastic core is, we can actually get this swapped out for a Yakima locking core. And And what's great about these, as we mentioned, is that you can get them key to like utilizing Yakima's same key system. So not only are we going to get 2 locking cores to make sure we have only 1 key for each of our carriers, we could also, I don't know, if we had a Jetstream crossbar, throw that locking core in there as well, or a host of other Yakima accessories that we might have, which is great because I only have 1 key to worry about all those different locking cores. And I definitely think that's one of the advantages that this carrier has versus a lot of the other ones we carry. Most times you're taking them off and you're having to throw them in the vehicle, which to me really starts kind of ruining the whole folding capability of it. At that point, you might as well just go with a fixed mount since you're moving it all the time. I like that I can go ahead, put this down, not be worried about somebody taking it off the roof of my car. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Yakima JayLow Kayak Carrier here on our 2015 Subaru Forester. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.